Hey, this is Shane Larrabee, and I've been thinking a lot about AI. I mean, who hasn't? It's in the mainstream media, it's in the tech blogs, it's my YouTube feed is full of all the stuff going on in AI. And it's become a tool of mine. It's something that I use on a daily, if not hourly basis as a web developer now. But of course, there's all the headlines that talk about how we are an extinct species, meaning web developers won't be around because someone will be able to simply ask AI to develop their website for them. So I've been given a lot of thought to AI these days and how it's going to affect my job as a web developer. Now, I'm looking at this two different ways. I'm looking at this from just a general web developer. I'm also looking at it through the eyes of an older guy, meaning I've been building websites since the late 1990s. And I've gone from static websites to more dynamic coding practices to CMSs like WordPress and Drupal and all that kind of stuff, all the way to complex, crazy applications that were not possible when I first started doing this job. So I've been at it for 20 some years now, and change is a part of this career. Learning is a never ending part of this career. However, AI is moving faster than anything we've ever seen before. I mean, the jump from ChatGPT 3 to 4 to now 4.0 as I do this video, it's insane. And what it's able to do is crazy. And using Copilot within my IDE to get work done and stuff like that, it's changing so fast, faster than anything I've ever seen before. So, is it going to get so good that I'm out of a job? Like, am I so if I retire, say 70, that gives me about 20 more years of this. At the rate that AI is bringing change to this profession, it certainly isn't going to look the same as it does today, just like today it doesn't look the same as it did 20 some years ago. Am I scared? Yes. But at the same time, I'm not completely convinced that being a web developer is a dinosaur position and we're on the verge of extinction. Today, we can use AI to generate code blocks, small snippets of code. I mean, they can get long, but it's just a chunk of code, right? And or scripting or markup, whatever. And it can generate this based on what you tell it, which is amazing. You can take some markup or code and place that into something like ChatGPT or run it through Copilot and ask if it can find the syntax error or the bug or explain the behavior that's occurring or even give it a server error, and it will figure it out. But what it's not doing yet is building full applications. Sure, that's coming, and we're going to get there. But as of right now, AI is a tool for a web developer. It's not a replacement. The other part that has me confident that we will not be put out to pasture anytime real soon is that you got to understand the technology. Developers understand the logic behind software. We understand how computers process information. We understand and if or statements. You know what I mean? And if you don't have that underlying logic understanding, then you're not going to be able to tell a computer what it needs to build. And even though it's probably going to get good enough to figure some of this out, it's not going to be perfect for quite a while. Also, when you think about it, there are servers and there's bandwidth and RAM and hard drives and all kinds of stuff that, again, you've got to have an understanding of in order to put these applications together. The AI isn't at a point right now where it is doing that for you. So, again, we are still required to be a part of the process. When AI generates output, we've got to be able to read through it. Sure, on simple examples, you can cut and paste some HTML into a page and so on, and it's going to look nice. But generally speaking, if you're dealing with any kind of complex applications, you still need to be able to read the code, understand it, so you can help the AI find the bug or improve the functionality and features of that particular code. Also, you need to understand the limitations of servers and browsers and how things are used. You know, one of the biggest parts of being a developer is being a consultant to your client. And anyone who's worked with a client on a web development project knows that the dreams are big, but you got to bring it back to reality. So you can imagine someone who doesn't have that technical background typing in the dream application. AI isn't going to be able to produce that, at least not yet. These limitations will decrease over time, but I don't think it's going to be immediate. Now, for me, I use AI daily or hourly even. I've had Copilot hooked up to my IDE for quite a while, and I know there's some controversy about how Microsoft managed to train Copilot and how OpenAI trained ChatGPT. But pushing those issues aside, from a pure tool standpoint, these things are absolutely amazing, right? They speed up my job infinitely. I can do stuff like paste in a block of code and ask it to find the syntax error that would have taken me an hour, 2 hours, some Googling. Who knows? It's creating CSS markup for me. It's creating SAS for me. Um, if it doesn't produce the exact output I need right away, then I just simply type in a small correction and it spits it out again. And the latest version of ChatGPT is incredibly fast. So even though we could complain before that it was slow generating, they've addressed that. Copilot is relatively quick, and its code completion mechanisms are they're brilliant. I mean, I end up hitting tab enter quite a bit. So if I can do things faster and I can do them better, maybe, what if I bill hourly? Doesn't that screw things up? It does. So what used to take me, say, 2 hours can now take me 15 minutes. But if I'm billing hourly, I have no incentive to let the client know that, I guess, or to use AI. So now we've got to kind of rethink our billing structure because these tools have become so fast that maybe we have to go to a more value-based proposition in terms of pricing. Now, I don't have this figured out. I don't know anyone who does have this figured out. I think this is where we are in these changes. We have to think about them. We've got to kind of sort them out. And the easy answer to this argument is simply, well, make it up in volume. So if you could do one thing before, now you can do five. As a human who's been at this for a few decades, I am exhausted. Just because I can do five things in an hour doesn't mean I want to, doesn't mean I can, doesn't mean I won't be exhausted when I'm done. So I don't know that the volume answer is the ultimate answer. I think we will get more done with AI, but I don't think it's reasonable to assume that it's going to be X times more just to make up the billing you used to do without the AI. So the billing is definitely a conundrum. So the future of AI, the immediate future anyway, I think what AI is going to do is it's going to allow clients with less budget to do more because we are able to do things faster. And you might not need such a senior developer to knock out the same application that a few years ago you would have. And so that's going to open things up. No longer will these small clients be relegated to cheap template based websites. They might be able to think about some custom applications and do something a little bit more because their budget's going to go further thanks to these AI tools. I also think it opens up the developer landscape because now developers can build more without specific expertise because they have this built-in coach and teacher and helper along the way. So AI development is moving insanely fast, and as of today, I'm pretty optimistic for the immediate future. I think it's going to continue to improve the web developer space, and I think it's going to help us do our jobs better. I think we're going to be able to produce better websites, better web applications, and so on. However, I do think we have to prepare for radical change in the coming years, and I'm not going to pretend I know what that looks like, but at the point that I'm at in my career, 20 years in, I'm not looking for a new job just yet.